We had the Amstel Gold race in the southern part of the Netherlands, like 257 kilometers, like 3,400 meters of climbing, up, down, all day, left, right, through all sorts of villages. Very technical race. Uh, we expected domination today from Remco and his team, and that's what we saw. That's what we saw. It started with like a 9-man breakaway. They got like 4.5 minutes, and Remco's team, Red Bull, they kept the breakaway in check. Eventually, push came to shove. 40 to 45 kilometers, 25 miles to go. The first big selection of the race, I believe it was on the Kreuzberg, steep climb. Roman Gregoire attacked. The only people to follow were Remco, Matthias Skelmos, Kevin Vonkelon, Matteo Jorgensen, and a few others. A few minutes later, they're descending. They're heading over this heading through a left turn over kind of a raised pedestrian walking path. Kevin Vonkelon's rear wheel slips out. Matteo Jorgensen, bam, right into him over the bars, landing on his left shoulder. This other guy they just caught from the breakaway, Hugh Arts, he went down as well in a real ugly looking crash. Those two are on the side of the road, really hurting. Kevin Vonkelon was able to get up and keep moving, but it was a real ugly looking crash, and I hope those guys are okay. Up front, they kept riding real hard. Remco was kind of leading on all the climbs, kind of keeping everyone in check, and he got some help from other people pulling through on the flats and downhills. Eventually, he was able to drop everyone on these climbs except Skelmos. And it came down to a 2-up sprint, a lot like last year. Last year was a 3-up sprint, Remco, Skelmos, and Tadej Pogačar. This year it was just 2, and they were way out in front. The third place rider was almost 2 minutes back, so they had a big lead. Skelmos surprisingly let it out. I thought maybe he should have taken the wheel, but it didn't look like it mattered. Remco was the strongest. With 200 meters to go, he went like a rocket. And yeah, it was nice to see him win. It was nice to see Skelmos get second and kind of confirm his surprise victory from last year. And and from behind, it was third place. It went to Frenchman Benoit Cosnefroy from UAE, and another country mate was Roman Gregoire was fourth. So, oh yeah, and a shout out to Marco Frigo, who was in the breakaway all day and finished 10th. So that was a big result. Yeah, about that crash that I saw with Jorgensen and Vankelon and Arts, it just reminded me how quickly, you can go from a really good moment. Matteo Jorgensen was focused on this race. He was focused on this race, Amstel, Flesh Wallon next Wednesday, Liège next Sunday. Been training at altitude for 4 weeks, suffering, looking good, was able to respond really well during that selection. And then boom, a descent, a little mishap, and boom, your life changes like that. So yeah, now it's a broken collarbone. Yeah, who knows when we'll be back on the bike, but the spring season is over for him. And yeah, hope everyone has a fast recovery there. One technical thing I noticed today was, when it came to it was a final duel, but it was mano a mano between Skelmos and Remco, and I noticed the last time going up the Kaberg, Remco was in a small chainring. He had a 2-by up front, and Skelmos was in his big chainring because that's all he had. He was on a 1-by, and I thought to myself that was over 257 kilometers, 33 different climbs. That might catch up with you over that kind of distance. And I wonder if it did. It might not have, but it might have. I don't know if that's something I would have done or taken a risk on. I think I would have gone with a 2-by. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that, but kind of interesting, but it's kind of wild to just follow like modern cycling and all the just the speeds of these bikes, how fast these bikes are, and just the different setups that they run. So, yeah, another really fun race to watch. Thanks for listening to me babble, and yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.